representing the Pittsburgh Pirates, Josh.
Yo, what is going on, guys, and welcome back to Velocity. Alright guys, so before I say anything, I just want to do my introduction. I know people in my last MLB video were saying my quality's terrible. I know, I'm trying to get that fixed. I just started, but you know, I'm gonna get that fixed at some point. Just trying to learn everything as of right now, get some videos out. And yeah, so as you guys can see by the title, we're gonna be doing my MLB The Show 21 wish list. Alright, so before we get into it, again, I just want to say thank you all for the support. The last MLB video did pretty good, had over 200 views. For a person who only has 9 subscribers, I'll take it. So we're gonna just get right into it. The number one thing I think MLB has to work on is the Road to the Show storyline. Alright, so here's what I think they need to do for MLB The Show. If you play MLB, that means you've probably played other sports games, whether it's Madden or NBA 2K. I'm gonna use the example of NBA 2K because I play that game more. NBA 2K probably has the best storylines out of my careers, and I think that's what MLB has to do next. And they have to have a storyline. It's not just like, oh yeah, you know what, let's just throw personalities into the game and everything will be fine. Like, no, we got minor league rosters, which was great for this year, but I think that the main thing they have to work on is a storyline. And the storyline is gonna go into my number 2 thing I think they have to add into the game, which is college teams. NBA 2K also has college teams, and so does Madden, but MLB doesn't. That's what brings them underneath them. You need college teams in the game, whether it's, you know, big universities like Vanderbilt, or you know, smaller ones like Florida State, University of Central Florida, UCF, things like that. Like, just add college teams into the game. Let us start in college, playing college baseball as a senior. Just start it off small and then make your way up. So I think the way they could start is by having you start in your senior year, and then from then on you work your way up. Your draft stock goes up, you know what I mean? So your draft stock keeps going up as a senior. You could play in, you know, like the college, you know, like World Series and stuff like that, be a top prospect, and work your way into the draft, so that you're not always being a round 15 draft pick, a round 10 draft pick, a round 11 draft pick. You could have the chance to go the number 1 overall pick. So the third thing that I think they need to work on is going over to another mode in the game, franchise mode. Now, let's all be honest here. Franchise mode is everybody's least favorite game mode. Honestly, in my opinion, it is. Diamond Dynasty is the head leader, and nothing will ever surpass it, because you're always having live updates and new things being added into the game, which is something you obviously can't do in franchise in Road to the Show, unless you're, you know, doing roster updates and stuff like that. But so that's another thing they need to work on, is franchise. This year, obviously, they added like the rebranding and all that, but they didn't really go in depth into it. Like, I think if they would have added, you know, new stadiums into the game, you know, maybe like custom stadiums that San Diego Studios made, and stuff like that, to relocate your team into different cities and stuff like that, I think that would have been great, and people would have loved it more. And another thing I think they need to add is just more in-depth, like customizations. You know what I mean? So by customizations, I mean, how do I explain this? So, like, you know, if you play franchise, you'll know that you'll set a lineup for your team, and then the CPU will jump into it and change your lineup and change your pitching rotation, but you have everything on manual. I think it should stay the way it is, and you should be in charge of every single little thing. You know what I mean? It's not just like the CPU just being like, oh, let me fix this for them, even though everything's on manual. I think that's not fair. So, that's the 2 main things I think they have to work on in franchise mode. The fourth thing I think they need to add is, again, in franchise mode, is create a stadium. We all want create a stadium, and this is the perfect opportunity to bring it in. It's going to be a cross-platform game now, with Xbox and PlayStation both having the chance to play MLB The Show games now. So this is a great opportunity to catch the eyes of Xbox players and to get them really into it. So create a stadium, you know, you could create, you know, like if you're looking at Dodger Stadium right here, you can edit the walls, you can edit if you want grass or turf, you can edit the area around it if you want it to be in a city or a suburb. Just like all these little things will make MLB The Show so much greater. Like, if you add create a stadium, you know, guys, popular guys in the MLB The Show community like Shelfie, Cougs, Quash Tag, and so many other people. Anti-Ortiz is another guy. He does great franchise videos. Guys like that, you know, Serenity. You know, they would do a create a stadium just to see how it is, and they would test out the waters, which will give people the opportunity to play franchise mode more, and people would want to play it more. Alright? So the next thing I think that they need to work on is graphics. Okay? Now, obviously the graphics in this game are amazing. You know, they're great. But then you have some people who, like, don't look anything like them. And the person that I'm gonna bring up is New York Mets outfielder Michael Conforto. I mean, if you look at his model in the game, he just looks like a pure baby. He doesn't look like Michael Conforto at all, and he's like really chubby. He's not chubby. His face is chubby. It's not chubby. He has a very skinny face. So it's just the little things I think they would need to work on. Minor leaguers, you know, if you're gonna auto-generate guys into the game, at least like make them look realistic instead of just them having like a generic face and nothing else. You know what I mean? I think that's another thing that they have to work on. What's another thing I think they should add? I think they should add Class A baseball. Class A baseball into Road to the Show. So you can start off in Double A. But if you do really bad in Double A, you go down to Class A. If you do really good, Triple A. And that's going to lead into my next thing that's also in Road to the Show, is how long it takes to get from Double A to the major leagues. I mean, if you want to play every game, which I don't do, go ahead. But that's going to take, like, forever, just because of the fact that it takes you, like, 2 to 3 years to get to the majors, which is insane. And I've been doing a Road to the Show. It took me 3 years to get to the majors. I was batting over 500. Because I just wanted to go on beginner and just try and get to the major leagues. Batting over 500, like 100 home runs. Just like, you know, because I was like, alright, I'll just do this until I get to the major leagues. And then once I get to the majors, I'll put it up to Hall of Fame or Legend. But it just takes so long, you know what I mean? Like, that's the one thing they need to fix about MLB. And it's like, you know, like, it takes so long. But like, another thing is like yeah, and like Diamond Dynasty, like when you have like the monthly awards, it takes so long to get some of them. You know what I mean? Like the moments are easy, you know what I mean? But like the missions you have to do afterwards, like the extra bases and all, not the extra bases, like the games played and all that, like, I don't know, I feel like it's a good addition, but like, you know, like for the prestige I understand, you know what I mean, because if you're gonna prestige a player, he's gonna be one of the best of the best at that position, or even in the game. So like, I think that's a good way to keep it in. But for like monthly awards, I think what they should do is just, you know, let you do the moments for the players. If you want, make the moments a little bit harder, and then that's it. You don't have to, you know, like defeat the Rangers on All-Star, you know what I mean, or do something like that just to get the player. Like once you do the moments for the player, you get the player, you know what I mean? So that's another thing they have to work on. But if they do keep it how it is, I'm not complaining. And yeah, the last thing that they probably need to work on, well, actually not work on, we need a good cover. We need a really good cover this year, you know what I mean? Because like, it's going to PlayStation and Xbox, so like, if it's going to PlayStation and Xbox, you want to catch the eyes of the people who have Xbox. So we need a really good cover, an exciting player, you know, that people are gonna love to see on the cover, and they know their name. So obviously Mike Trout is like, you know, almost like the LeBron James of the MLB. You know, he runs the MLB almost. So if people saw Mike Trout on the cover, they would be like, okay, okay. But if it's not Mike Trout, which I'm hoping it's not, honestly, because, you know, like, we know Mike Trout's the best. Like, he doesn't need to be on the cover for us to know that. So the guy that needs to be on the cover is Fernando Tatis Jr. Like, it's so obvious. Like, if you don't put Fernando Tatis Jr. on the cover, especially after the year he had, I don't know, like, people want him. Like, all the content creators in the MLB community, like Cougs and all that, like, they want Fernando Tatis on the cover. Like, every time somebody asks them, who do you want on the cover? They're like, Fernando Tatis. And it shouldn't be anybody else. And that's just a fact. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just a fact. Like, Fernando Tatis Jr. should be on the cover. But, like, basically, like, that's it. Like, those are all my predictions, and that's what MLB needs to improve on. So yeah, that's basically gonna do it for